There's a national statistic that tells us, and it goes like this: the overwhelming majority of people, 80+% of people in the United States, if they're going to make a decision about faith in Jesus, it's going to take place in a 4-14 window. Between the ages of 4 and 14, over 80% of people in the United States, that's where it happens, between the ages of 4 and 14. Now, here at Foundation, we don't quite line up with that national average. We're a little bit of an outlier. The overwhelming majority of people that decide to follow Jesus here are actually older than the age of 18. And it's because we position ourselves to allow people to explore and discover faith at their own pace without any expectations other than keep taking small steps towards Jesus. Let's see if we can't discover the significance of Jesus. That being said, even though there's a huge number of people that make a decision to follow Jesus as an adult here at Foundation, there's also an enormous number of kids that are in that window, 4 to 14, that make that very same decision. Now, I will say that we don't see a lot of 4, 5, and 6-year-olds making that decision. That it's typically when we get around 7 or 8, we start seeing those conversations kind of pop up. And really, we see a huge number right between 8 and 12 years old is kind of where the meat of where we see people decide to give their lives to Jesus. But when we're thinking about that, it's a national average. It's a national statistic. Every church that wants to know it can know it. And so the result of that is people put a lot of emphasis and resources and staffing and effort into that very particular age demographic. From 4 to 14, we put a lot into it, which is great. Because, I mean, who wouldn't want to make the most of the window? Who wouldn't want to take the time and energy and put the effort and the resources and the funds and the staff and the programming into that particular window if we know it's 80%, that's where it happens. That only 20% of people make a decision after they pass the age of 18. That's wild. And so we invest heavily in that space, which is a good thing. However, it also creates a pretty significant problem. When we overemphasize any demographic, when we pour everything into it, when it feels like, hey, this is our one chance, even though it's not our one chance, but when it feels like that statistically, and we pour everything into it, it creates some pretty bad habits for a church and for a community. There was a study that came out about 5 years ago from an organization called the Pine Tops Foundation. And they did a study about kids that grew up in church and had grown up in church and just started taking some inventory of kids that existed and had grown up in church over the last 20 years or so. And they put together this study and they published it nationally, and it was alarming. Pastors everywhere were like, you've got to be kidding me. But it makes sense. In it, they give us 3 scenarios: a best case scenario, a middle of the road scenario, and a worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is this is what the study says. 42 million kids by the year 2050 are going to walk away from Jesus. By 2050, 25 years, 42 million kids are going to walk away from their faith. These are kids that currently are in Sunday schools or in kids' classes, that are going on mission trips, that are in youth groups, that are going through confirmations and denominational world, all of those things. It's 42 million kids that right now, if you ask them, they would say, I love Jesus, I believe in Jesus. By the year 2050, as they are adults, no longer will say that. That's worst case. Now, we're not worst case people. I like to think that Foundation tends to kind of reverse the trend. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do some hard work. We're going to be best case. I mean, middle of the road is not even where we're shooting. We want to be best case scenario people. Here's best case. Best case scenario is only 35 million kids walk away from Jesus by the year 2050. Again, 35 million kids. That's kids that are sitting in this room right now. It's some of you that are right there around your 20s that you're going to realize this isn't for me anymore within the next 25 years. It'll be the largest exodus of Christianity in world history in the next 25 years. Why is that? Why are over 1 million young people growing up in the United States walking away from Jesus? The why is actually pretty simple. The practical cause for those walking away from faith is they outgrew a shallow, kid-sized Jesus that was never meant to carry adult weight. The version of Jesus that they fell in love with wasn't actually a version of Jesus they could take to work with them. The version of Jesus that they fell in love with was not the version of Jesus that stood up with them when life got hard and bullies got real and all the name calling and all the heartache and all the trauma started really seeping into their life. That Jesus, for some reason, the one they studied in Sunday school and maybe saw on a video screen or a felt board, that tells you how old you are, those kind of things, that Jesus just wasn't real. And the reason for that's a few things. First, there's some church responsibility. Right? There's some church responsibility. Both student ministry and kids ministry across the board, it wasn't for spiritual development or spiritual formation. It was entertainment. That the idea of student ministry, well, let's just have a bunch of events and we will judge whether those events are good or not based upon how many students, middle school and high school, we can get to show up to them. And if we get a huge number, that is job security for the student pastor. The larger the number, as long as we can show numerical growth, that's all that matters. And so it wasn't about spiritual development or spiritual ownership. It was just about spiritual show up. Or kids ministry. We gather in churches and we want the adults to have adult time. Like not just a clean hour and 15 minutes just to breathe. Just some mommy and daddy, just chill time, you know? And so what do we do upstairs? Just babysit. Just make sure they're safe. And at the end of the day, if we could hand them back to their parents and they're not upset and they were safe the whole time, that's a win. And there was no discussion about spiritual walk or spiritual development or biblical literacy or growing or walking in their faith. It was just childcare. And as long as we provided good childcare, we checked a box for a Sunday and the church would grow. But it wasn't just church side of things and programming side of things. It was how we presented Jesus. Kids are taught that their faith hinges on simply asking Jesus to come and live in their heart. And this is well-intentioned, like this idea of Jesus, come and live in my heart, and that their salvation and their relationship with God hinges on that idea, Jesus, come and live in my heart. While it's well-intentioned, and I think the heart behind it feels good, the reality is we're teaching kids something the Bible never says. There's no place that says this is how this works. Let's go invite Jesus to come and live in our heart. And why do we think that? Why does that make sense to us? Do we have like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath sitting behind our left ventricle that Jesus can just move in? Is that what we think? Which it makes sense. If that's what people think, like, oh, Jesus lives in my heart. And all of a sudden, when life gets hard, they're like, knock, knock, knock on heart's door. Jesus, where you at? Can you come out and help me? And they don't realize that their salvation, it's not about asking Jesus to come and live in their heart, but it's about saying, I want to actually follow Jesus. Jesus is not going to live in me and follow me around wherever my heart goes. My heart is going to follow him. Wherever he leads, I'm going to follow in his direction. So when life does hit the fan, all of a sudden I'm not knocking on a door where there's no Jesus. I'm saying, Jesus, and he's right in front of me. And we're saying, hey, I've been walking with you the whole time. You've taught me a lot, and I'm in a mess. It's not just childcare. It's not just some bad theology that doesn't exist in the Bible anywhere. Honestly, one of the biggest issues beyond what happens in a theological discussion or what happens on a Sunday morning is that parents aren't living out during the week in visible and noticeable ways their own personal faith. In other words, the Jesus that they learn about growing up, they only learned about on Sundays, and they never saw executed or implemented in the other 167 hours of the week. When they watched their parents go through difficult times, Jesus wasn't at the center of how they solved that. When they saw their parents walk through incredible moments, there wasn't a thank you to God. When they saw the mundane, there was never a century or centering around a Jesus conversation. They see their parents attend a gathering on a Sunday, and then Jesus doesn't come home with them. Jesus sits in a building that we get a little dressed up for, and we go and we sit, and they even give a little bit of money to it, but at the end of the day, they haven't given their life to Jesus. They just give their Sunday mornings to Jesus. And so when these kids grow up, as your kids grow up, they will get to a place where they have to make a value decision, and life will give them a value proposition. What do you want to do with possibly your one day off on the weekend? Do you want to give it to what your parents gave it to? Something that didn't impact the rest of their life, it just inconvenienced them on their one day they could sleep in? And when that value proposition is given to them, they're going to make a very smart decision. Of course not. Why would I give away a day off or a morning off to an institution that makes no difference in my life the rest of the week? Why would I follow a Jesus that I don't invite into my household? Why would I give money to something that doesn't have say over anything else in my life? The United States has boiled down following Jesus to live in my heart, and I'll see you on Sundays. And that's why we're about to see the greatest exodus from Christianity in our country's history. Because the Jesus we've taught this next generation, he isn't real. He isn't real. It's a fabricated version that our convenience-driven souls have created. And we are going to pay the price for it with our children. The solution is simple. We've got to go all in. Not Sunday in, all in. Parents, you've got to go all in. Grandparents, you've got to be all in. Church, you've got to be all in. This morning, there's a good group of parents, both at the 9 and the 11, that have made a decision that they are going all in to give their kids the very best opportunity to own their own faith. They're going to start heading up to the stage at this time, and I'm going to welcome our student pastor, Rich DeWeese, and our kids' first director, Robin Alexander. Would you give them a hand?
Good morning. We are so excited that you're here because today is a special day. I'm Rich. I have the best job in the world. I'm the student pastor, which means I get to lead students grades 6 to 12.
And my name is Robin, and I have the bestest job in the world?
The almost bestest job.
I have the better job, which is leading kids from birth to 5th grade. This morning, you're watching parents walk up on stage today that are saying they are all in on their kids' faith. Now, these parents just didn't get up here willy-nilly, walk in today and say, "Put me on stage, I'm so excited." They prepped for this event, they planned, and they spent time working on some homework. They were told to pick 3 words. 3 words that they would love for their kid to be once they leave their house.
And some of you that aren't up here are thinking, oh, they had homework. I'm so glad that I don't have anything to do, but you're so wrong. Because this is a church that's being about all of us committed and all in. So today, as these families share their words and their commitment, I'm going to ask you to make a commitment as well. Pick out one family, pick out one child. You're going to see the words picked for them. One of those words is going to resonate with you. Maybe it's something you're good at. I want you to pick that child. I want you to pick that trait. And I want you to commit to pray for that child and that family.
Like we said, they had this homework, these 3 words. Now, these 3 words they've chosen aren't the words that define this child now. They've got some time to grow, right? They got some time to lead. Their hope is that these 3 words define their kids when it's 18, the bags are packed, they're leaving their house. This is the hope that they've been the number 1 disciple in their kids' lives and can describe them as these 3 words. We're going to invite the families to step up and share those 3 words with you guys today. There's going to be wiggles on stage. There's going to be noise, and it's okay. It takes a lot of guts to get up here. I'm going to invite the first family up, which this is a special family because it is my family. So I am a little biased. This is the cutest kid up here right now. But this is my husband, Christian, and this is our son, Rowan. And we chose 3 words for Rowan, and they are courageous, humble, and resilient. Our next family can come on up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cassie, and this is my husband, Alan. This is our daughter, Palmer. And the words we chose for her are kind, tenderhearted, and vibrant.
Hello, so I am Michelle, and this is my husband, Paul, and these are our daughters, Audrey and Sophia, and we have chosen for both of them determined, forgiving, and genuine.
There we go.
Hi, we're the Hale family. My name's Alyssa. This is my husband, Joey, and our 3 daughters, Tegan, Nova, and Talon. For Tegan, we picked bold, faithful, and a leader. And for Nova, we picked confident, faithful, and compassionate. And for Talon, we picked giving, faithful, and humble.
There you go, Talon. There you go.
Hey everyone, my name is Charles, and this is my wife Kaylee. And these are our 3 girls, Charlie, Kinsley, and Riley. And for Charlie, we picked helpful, determined, and courageous. For Kinsley, we picked loyal, strong-willed, and sensitive. And for Riley, we picked gentle, faithful, and resilient.
We're the McFarlands. My name is Hunter. This is my wife Adele and our son Stetson. We picked wise, compassionate, and courageous.
We're the Harrisons. I'm Luke, and this is my wife Marky and our son Ezra. And we picked kind-hearted, steadfast, and courageous.
Hey everyone, I'm Rich, and this is my wife Jessie and my girls Lucy and Joanna. Today we're here for the newest edition, Hallie, and for her we picked selfless, honest, and compassionate.
Who wants to hold it? Hold it? Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Carolina, and this is my daughter Sophia and Jordan. And for Sophia, I picked humble, inquisitive, and affectionate. And for Jordan, I picked charismatic, compassionate, and spirited.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Ellie. This is Bennett, and for him I chose empathetic, curious, and intelligent.
Oh, right here. You got this.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alexa. This is Caius. The words I chose for him are strong, intelligent, and loving.
Will carry this off stage. All right, we're going to ask our families to head off stage. Now, give them a big round of applause. It takes a lot of guts to get up here and speak in front of people, and so they did a fantastic job. Now, Rich told you before they got up here to focus in on a kid, on a word. Maybe it's something that you excel at. Maybe it's something that you pray about yourself daily. But we want you to remember that kid. Write down that name. Take a picture if you need to. You're going to be all in on them to help them own their faith. You're going to partner together with these parents to raise these kids to have these words define them.
Yeah, and we want to kickstart your relationship with that family and that child right now, because I'm going to ask you to pray with me as we pray for these children and these families. Listen, you don't have to be some expert at prayer. It can be as simple as thinking thoughts in God's direction about that child about that family. Would you pray with me? Father God, we thank you for being so good and so faithful to us. What a special day to see parents making a commitment to raising their children with an understanding of you, children who will own their own faith and carry it into a world that needs it so much. God, we're thankful that we're a part of a church, a family that is going to invest together to make sure these families are loved and supported and these children are seen and heard and exalted to you through prayer every day. God, you're good, we're blessed, and we're grateful for you. In Jesus' name, amen.
My name is Angela.
My name is Paul.
And we've been married for 19 years, 11 months, and I don't know, it's almost 20 years. We've talked about since we were first married and then we decided we were gonna have kids, like, this is really important to us. And so this is like telling our kids about Jesus is what we do. Like, and we live it out, and we don't always do it right, but we really try to say, like, this is something that we think is important. We think it's important to you.
I think we're all in, but I think a lot of the time we've got one foot in and one foot out, you know, and then you have to remember what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we better try and get that other foot in to get all in.
I think prioritizing faith in our family has started from us and what we want. We try and prioritize Jesus in our lives. We try and prioritize serving and having that live out. And I think it's important that our kids see that so that they know that we're not just saying things, that we're actually doing what we say we think is important.
My name is Holly. I'm 17 years old, and I'm Canadian American, which means that I'm Scottish, Canadian, and American. Serving inside the church has been a model for me to see how I should serve in my everyday life, not just in church, because the hours in church are so valuable because it really teaches me how I should be serving other people in real life and how that is a reflection of what God wants us to do in the 167, not just in the hour and a half or 2 hours that we have on Sunday mornings. Leading art at Art and Science Camp was really fun. I had never led art like that before in a setting, and I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just like doing what I thought was right, and I was just learning every single day. It was just so much fun just watching the kids like make stuff and watching them do something that I was passionate about and being able to share God's talents that He's given to me, being able to share those with other people.
Hello, my name is Gil. I am 14 years old, and one fun fact about me is I play lacrosse for Noonan. Serving with my dad is great because I have someone else there that knows me personally, and also it just means that I can hang out with him more.
Do you like hanging out with your dad?
Yes, I do. I hope kids, especially in like the twos, just learn that there's going to be someone there for them, even when they might feel like alone.
I think that it's really important for our kids to know that they that it's important to serve in the church body because it reflects what Jesus did for us and He served. I think that's just the attitude of service. I think is really important.
Serving in church has just like helped me realize that serving's like not a burden. It's like what you should do, and it's not like when you are like, it's like what Jesus did when you're like powerful. You don't just like wait for people to serve you. You serve others.
You know, serving, I think you think about it, well, I'm giving up this time. It's like sometimes, like when we first started Come Foundation, I have to be honest, because we were coming out of COVID time, I used to love to watch the English Premier League on a Sunday morning. And I was like, man, I'm going to miss the game. We're going to stay and serve, you know, for that. But then, you know, you realize that, you know, serving is often so much more fun.
My name is Jane. I am 10 years old. Fun fact about me is I love cats.
Now, why do you like serving with Junction Kids?
It's fun helping out, and you can do activities with the small children, and also it's fun seeing like when they do the memory verse.
I just really appreciate that there's other grown-ups that have come alongside our kids and said that they wanted to invest in them because you know, we do that in the kids ministry, and so it's kind of neat we know that there's other people that are investing in the same way in our kids' lives. So,
who is your small group leader?
Mr. Murphy.
What do you like about Mr. Murphy?
He's funny and he makes it like teach the things in different ways that we understand them.
Some of my mentors are Bradley and Brian. They're very different because they've been through where I've gone through, and they can relate to me and like relate how to like see the struggles, but also to find a way through the struggles. One thing that the mentors have said to me is that if you never do something or never try, you'll never learn how to do it. It impacted me by like helping even when I'm at school, just to like try to be the best I can.
I've had a lot of different mentors at Students with the couple of years that I've been there. I was there in middle school for 1 year and in high school for a couple of years. But I think that the mentors have always just been so kind and loving and encouraging, and that's what stuck out to me the most. But that they're always just pushing us to dive deeper into our faith, and they're always pushing us to ask questions. I feel like I can really see the way that God is using them through engaging with us as high schoolers and middle schoolers. As I volunteered for the second and third graders, like they want the same things for us as I feel like I want for the second and third graders and for the kids in elementary school.
My advice for parents who feel unsure about how to disciple their kids is to start small, is to pick something like a little devotional. I know Robin has a ton of stuff upstairs that you can go through.
If you're thinking you're not doing enough, it's probably a good place to be, because it's like you realize that you've got to do something. So I'm a great believer in like little steps, even if it's just like, you know, maybe it's you've never prayed with them before they go to sleep. Like it's easy to just, you know, before when you tuck them in at night, just to pray with them. And that's something you can start and then just keep building on it. So I just start small, you know, and don't beat yourself up if you miss like a week or two. It's building those small habits that can grow into bigger habits, that grow into life change.
Give it up for the Lewis family. That took a lot of courage for them to say yes to me saying, hey, can I come in and film you in your house, ask you a bunch of questions, and put you on stage for everyone to watch. And isn't that just it, what Paul said there at the end? Small habits that turn into bigger habits that turn into life change. I know what you're thinking. Well, Robin, you picked the one perfect family here at Foundation to put up on screen, and that'll never be me, so it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm not perfect. That is not the truth. They are just a family that has decided to be all in on their kids' faith. They've decided for themselves that they're going to be the #1 discipler of their kids' lives. And so they're just trying their best every day. It wasn't in there, but Angela said during the interview, I think the thing that we're most consistent at is being inconsistent. And I think that's life. And so you don't have to be perfect to influence the next generation. You just have to decide to try.
Yeah, what's great about the Lewis family, and so many of you, the fact that you're standing up here today, is that you want to be all in. The thing is, you don't have to go all in by yourself, right? What we get to do, the privilege that we have, is partnering with you. And there's nothing that we would rather do than to try to resource you, to try to encourage you, to try to be with you through the ups and the downs, because parenting is a challenge. It's hard, but you're not in it alone.
We often say here it takes a village, and that's the truth. And we want to be part of that village. And as your next gen team here, there are some very practical things that we do to help be a part of your village. We have Facebook groups, Parents of Foundation Students, Parents of Foundation Kids. We would love for you guys to be in on those. We have discussions in there. We post information about what's coming up. We also post resources. We know right now, kids coming out of COVID statistically are at their lowest levels for reading and math, right? We want to help partner with you in parenting life, parenting day to day. We also have a text line. It is our next gen number, so none of the boring adult stuff is on there. It's all about kids and students. And to be a part of that community, all you have to do is text kids or students to 678-661-4211. We'd love to partner with you to make you win as a parent day to day. In fact, if you're texting in kids, you're going to get a text message this Saturday to remind you about our pajama party we're doing Sunday. We want to partner with you to help you win. I'm also going to remind you that it's daylight savings. Since you're going to lose an hour of sleep, it's going to be okay. But that is why we're doing our pajama party. You want to be a part of it because our job as your Next Gen team is to help partner with you, to help you achieve this goal of being all in on your kids' faith. There's some other things on the Church Center app that are always open, like Foundation Kids orientations. There's also coffee meetups. And something brand new here coming up is me and Rich are doing coffee meetups together. So for March, April, and May, you can sit down and have coffee with us for a whole hour, hour and a half, whatever you need. We're here for you for that. We want to be a part of the conversation. If you got kids in both of our ministries, or you've got a kid that's transitioning from 5th grade to 6th grade this summer, we want to help that go well. You can sign up for that all on the Church Center app.
Yeah, I hope to see you there, but don't judge me because I won't be drinking coffee.
Yeah, me
Sorry.
neither.
Listen, our church gets to go all in, right, with families. And you saw it in the video. It's fantastic that the Lewis family has chosen to serve together. It warms my heart every time I go upstairs and I see Paul and Gil with the 2-year-olds. It's like the best thing ever. The thing is that they understand that they're not alone, and so they've allowed us to partner with them. And so I have a team of mentors that work with our students. Robin has great volunteers with the kids. And every one of those relationships started with a small decision to figure out, hey, is this someplace that God can use me? And it might look like just showing up on a Sunday night early to be ready to lead small group at the end of the night with our students. It might look like being here on a Sunday morning to go through huddle so you're ready to meet the children as they come. It might look like showing up here at base camp and spending the whole weekend with our high school or middle school students, sleeping on an air mattress that may or may not stay inflated. It might look like taking a week to go to Woodland Camp and sleeping on mattresses that are worse than the air mattress that I provide. I don't know what the small step looks like. Maybe it's going to look like showing up at our Good Friday event and making room for over 100 children to be exposed to Jesus on the square at Good Friday. Those opportunities are sitting out there waiting for you.
What we know about Gen Alpha, which is the current generation in our kids and student ministries, that they are more reliant on their parents than before. Coming out of COVID, this is the first generation to live through that and experience it and come out of it. They are more influenced by their parents than ever before. They care what their parents think and say than ever before. But not only that, they also want to be super relational. They are saying, I want a trustworthy adult to hang out with. And statistics tells us when you have trustworthy adults, typically somewhere from 3 to 5 outside of your parents that can help influence your faith, it'll be a direct catalyst for that belief to grow and stay longer. So when those big numbers up on the screen that Clint shared earlier, that is crazy. But by stepping up and into someone's life, you can be a catalyst for their belief, a catalyst to change that tide, to make those worst case numbers and those best case numbers smaller, right? That's the hope and that's the win.
Yeah, the fact that we get to come along, children and students, relationally, that it's not just about the programming, it's not just about talking at them, it's about walking with them. And I'm super excited because this is my one chance to ask you, do you need to be involved relationally with our students and our children? In student ministry, I'm super excited because for the very first time, we're offering a student mentor orientation, which means you felt God nudging you, hey, I should do more. You're not sure what the first step is. You're busy, I'm busy. Hey, on April 19th, you can come, you can get the behind the scenes view of what happens in student ministry at one of our Sunday night gatherings, all the vision casting, all the questions that you might have, and you'll get to see it firsthand. Listen, I don't know what God's been saying to you, but I know that if he's been nudging you, that this is the time for you to step up. We need you. Our students need you.
What we want you to hear today is that You have an opportunity, church, to be all in on these kids, not just the parents, but partner with them. Our hope is that the parents are the number one disciplers, but our bigger hope too is that as a church, we can surround them, that we can be on board with them, to be all in to help their kids own their faith. Kids has orientations too. It's all on the Church Center app. If you have any questions about things we talked about, you can text that kid's number, or the student number, the Next Gen number, and you can ask any question, and Rich and I and our Next Gen team are here to answer them. Mentors and student volunteers and kids volunteers play an important role in raising this next generation. But above that, we know that long-lasting faith truly relies on parents being all in on their kids' faith and the number one discipler for them. The thing that's going to help you flip that script and change it is time. Time is such an important piece here. We're going to let Clint share more about time today and how that can influence your kids to own their faith.
Maybe you can think of it as a simple silver bullet. Really, it's the thing that we want you to walk away from today, with today. It's the thing that when you kind of start thinking through what's the one thing that I want to remember from the experience today, it would be the idea of time. Because when you give time, you take everything you are with you. Your character goes with you. Integrity, it goes with you. Your devotion to Jesus or devotion to whatever you are devoted to, it goes with you. And so if you were to come into a place where you made a decision, I want to engage my time with something, everything that you are comes with you. Time is the answer. When we ask the question, how do we go all in? We've got to solve the time problem. The truth is, time is something you can't get more of, but you can make the most of it. Here at Foundation, we like to measure time in bouncy balls. And we do that for a few reasons. First reason is because they're shareable. And people enjoy getting bouncy balls. Raj, I'll prove it to you. Ready? Boom. Oh, that wasn't for you, Aaron. It's for the kids behind you. There we go. Oh, we got bounce over. Sorry, kiddo. Yeah, I'm short this time. Everybody loves bouncy balls. Oh, you want one of these? I mean, can you catch it? You feel good? Okay, my son says he can catch it. I'm gonna throw it hard. Are you ready? Here we go. Did I hit the wall? My bad. Sorry. No do-overs. No do-overs. People love bouncy balls. I mean, have you ever gotten a bouncy ball? Well, when you take one from your kid because they're like having fun with it, then you're not happy about the bouncy balls. But I mean, you just walk up to anybody and just like, hey, here's a bouncy ball. And they just get pumped about it. It's like, yeah, this is good. That's right. Ben wants one. Ben's hardcore. Oh, intercepted. Bouncy balls are fun. That's why people enjoy them. That's why they're shareable. Anyone do grocery shopping on Sundays? Raise your hand. Keep it high. Cool. How many of you that have keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. If you have a kid between the ages of 4 and 10, and you also do grocery shopping on Sundays, keep your hand up. Everybody else put your hand down. Okay, sweet. So we're going to enter into a little contract here. Okay, there we go. This is good. This is good. I'm running it out. We got back row time. Let's go. Back row. Okay, not back row. Whoa, that was a little more. Oh, yeah, let's go. Okay, if you just got a bouncy ball, sorry, I'm almost out, so just got to chill. If you just got a bouncy ball, when you go grocery shopping this afternoon, the instructions are, this is the contract we just entered into, is you hand that bouncy ball to your kid and you don't say anything, okay? You just hand it to them as you walk around the grocery store and you just let happen what's going to happen, all right? That's the deal. That's the deal. And it's going to remind you how much fun time can be. Yeah, you might have to pick up 16 million things of Pop-Tarts when they knock it off the end row. But it's fine. The Pop-Tarts will survive, I promise. Bouncy balls are unpredictable. That's why they're a really good reminder of time. You bounce them and they hit a wall and you never just know where they're going to go. It's our favorite way to think about time at Foundation. Each one of the kids today that were on stage received a jar. And our staff takes the time to go to each kid's birthday and figure out how many seasons they have until they finish with their 18th birthday. And then we put the number of balls in the jar that corresponds with their age. And the idea is that at the end of each season, you take one out and you give it to them, they can play with it, but it reminds you as a parent, you're running out of time. Before you know it, it's empty. This jar in particular represents my oldest son, the one I couldn't connect with over there against the wall. When we started doing this 7 or 8 years ago, this jar had so many more bouncy balls in it. I noticed it this morning. We were getting prepped, and I looked up because Robin puts this jar and she counts them out, and she puts in Emerson's number of seasons left each year. And I remember looking at it. It was over there on the table as the band was warming up. And I remember looking at it, and I was like, oh, man, somebody has taken some of my bouncy balls. I need more than that. And so I went upstairs to her, and I said, hey, you got any more? That's not enough for me to do my illustration with. She's like, well, that's what you got. Thing is, time is one of those things that before you know it, it's gone. My advice would be simple. Don't let time get away from you. So, could I be practical? How do we make the most of our time with our kids? Here's a few practical things. First, you plan for it. You got to plan it. I know life sometimes gets us in this grind where we're just like, oh, I'm just trying to keep my head above water, Clint. You know what I'm saying? I can't plan anything. I'm just trying to survive. I'm trying to make it through. I don't have the capacity to make any adjustments or make any plans for the future. That's just not in me right now. And I would tell you, you're wrong. I know it feels like you don't have the time, but you got the same amount of time anybody else has got. So if you want to, you could get serious about it and you can make some plans. You can make some adjustments to how you're doing things that would pay off long term. We made a decision, which you got to have a lot of discipline to do this if you're going to do it, so don't take it as credit advice. But a long time ago, we got a Delta Sky Miles card. And because we knew, man, what are the chances, a family of 4, well, I guess we're a family of 5 now, family of 5, that we could just hop on a plane and go to some of the places we wanted to take our kids to. And we knew that would probably be zero unless one of us goes and works for Delta, which you never know. If they're hiring, it's a good gig, right? You know what I'm saying? And so we got a Sky Miles card, and it takes us about between 18 and 24 months to save up enough points to where we could fly somewhere for free. And we try to do national parks every other year or so. And so it's something we got to plan long term for us to make that happen. And so it's a long-term process. We start that journey, and there's no payoff for sometimes 2 years. You got to plan it. You got to make an investment in something that's coming down the road. But you can't just plan it. You also got to let it take a while. And when I say let it take a while, it's understanding that sometimes the journey is better than the destination. The idea of involving your kids in things in a way where they learn and it takes you longer. When's the last time when you went to go do something on the car, change the brakes or change the oil or something, that you took your kid and said, hey, this is going to take forever and oil might end up all over my face, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm sure if your wife in the room and your husband's like, hey, I'm going to let our kids change your brakes. That doesn't feel great. But we don't want to live in a generation where our only responsibility to our dads is just hold the flashlight and don't move it. But the opportunity to engage in a way where they learned a skill and they learned it with you. kids are incredibly inefficient. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. But some of you plan too much. And you've got everything micromanaged and planned out. In fact, you've gone so far as you take your bouncy balls and you split them into halves because you have planned every little single segment of your time. Some might call you a helicopter parent. I won't point you out. Maybe you need to be a little more spontaneous. That you need to let go of a few things and just relax and try something you didn't plan. You need to wake them up at 3 a.m. and just take them on an adventure. You need to tell them, hey, or start a long car ride one night and tell them you're going one place, and when they wake up, they're at Magic Kingdom. You need to do something that's just out of the ordinary, something that's wild and unexpected. Remember, you get to decide what you do with the time that God gives you with your kids. It doesn't have to be the same old, same old. You're in charge. There is no one telling you this is what you must do with each bouncy ball in your jar. You get to decide. That being said, it's also pretty important when we're trying to make the most of our time with our kids that we realize we also have to make the ordinary sacred. Parenting isn't simply summers and vacations and holidays. It's not just these big, huge mountaintop moments. It's Tuesday night and what's for dinner. It's the simple things that I promise you, if you invite me into your hospital room or your hospice room at the end of your life, and I happen to be there, I promise you, you will wish for that Tuesday night back. You'll wish for an opportunity just to be normal. You'll wish for the mundane that sometimes we just get frustrated with. You'll hope and dream for an opportunity that's given to you every single day. An opportunity not to be over spiritual about dinner on Tuesday nights, but just to simply be present for dinner on Tuesday nights. To just realize the time that you invest in the simplest thing, the opportunity for them to do their homework in front of you or around you, or at least in the same room, to engage in some type of conversation about their day, more than just good, great, got homework, done, fine, you're to your room and I'm on my show. But the opportunity to invest and to engage in a way that's just normal. You should fight for it. You should fight for it. Because I'll tell you this, the world is going to fight for what's in your jar. They're not going to let up. They're fighting for it. Everything is fighting for this. And you get to choose. Where will you invest it? Where are you investing it? Where have you invested it? My guess is that most of us in this room wish we had a handful of these bouncy balls back to put in the jar. But that's not how the jar works. That is not how life works. The truth is, though, you can plan for it. You can let it take a while. You can be spontaneous. You can make the ordinary sacred. But the key to all of it is you got to do it all while following Jesus. Disney is not going to be what Disney could be. Spontaneous is not going to be what spontaneous could be. Surprises, they will be surprises. They will ignite that dopamine release inside their body. But there's just something different when you surrender to Jesus and He's the one leading you through it. Tuesday nights, you can have dinner and do those things, but when Jesus is a part of why you do everything you do, it changes it. It changes it. You can't be parents that just church on Sunday mornings. You have to be parents that are the church the other 167 hours of the week. You have to be the church. You can't go to church. And if that is what you decide, I just want to go to church, Don't be surprised if in the next 25 years your kids don't want to go to church. Because church ain't enough. Church ain't enough. There is no version of Jesus that just meets you on Sunday mornings. That Jesus is something we have created in our culture of convenience in the United States. But it's not biblical. And that guy doesn't actually exist. That make-believe guy, he's the one that lives in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath behind the left ventricle in your heart. It's a fairy tale. The real Jesus doesn't follow you home. He leads you home. Because his invitation is, don't let me come and live in your heart. His invitation is, you come follow me. And I will lead you home, and I will lead you to dinner, and I will lead you through homework, and I'll lead you through sports activities, and I will lead you through church, and I will lead you through the in-laws, and I will lead you through holidays, and I will lead you through vacations, and I will lead you through all these things. You keep following me, and I'll be in the lead. The truth is, we've just got to figure out how to be on purpose with our time. And I want you to hear me. Some of you are realizing your jar is more empty than mine. It's true. When the balls run out with your kids, time changes. It's not something you get to possess anymore. They get their own jar. And maybe they'll give you a few bouncy balls. Maybe. But it's out of your control at that point. And God does not give refills. You just get what's in the jar. So be on purpose with your time. Be on purpose with your time.